Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Kenneth.
And I'm Anne. Today's episode, we are going to talk about a project that everybody is very curious about, and the project is
River Modern. Okay, and as usual, this is not a must buy or last chance or don't miss out kind of episode.
Yep,
right?
so our goal here is very simple. By the end of this podcast, we wish that you get clarity and not pressure. If River Modern fits you, that's very good. But if it doesn't, it's good as well. At least you know.
So imagine you're just sitting with us, okay, and then of course holding a cup of coffee and we're just chatting. So how about let's start, right?
Yep. So Kenneth, when you first saw River Modern, what was your gut reaction?
Honestly, I'm like, okay, this is very River Valley.
Okay, when you say that, you cannot just say that and move on. What does very River Valley means?
I mean, it's city fringe, right? Aside from that, mature, not flashy, but quite premium, right? So not trying to impress everyone. I would say, just very appealing to a very specific crowd.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel that this is one of the projects where if you get it, you really get it. So give us the basics.
Yeah, okay. So River Modern, right, is a 99-year leasehold, District 9 CCR, about 455 units and estimated TOP around 2030.
Okay, so it is a mid-sized project, not a boutique, and it's also not a mega 1,000 unit development, which I think is good.
Which is actually quite typical for CCR launches nowadays.
And before people start asking about the price, layout, MRT, let's address the question that we always get first, which is the developer.
Yep. So people always ask this first, and I think many people underestimate how important it is. In fact, a good developer, to me, right, refers to better landscaping, better facility, and usually a smoother defect rectification.
Yeah, and I think that equates to, fewer headaches after you collect the keys.
Correct. So River Modern is, developed by a reputable, experienced developer with a track record in the city and city fringe project.
Even though it's not the kind that always promises like guaranteed upside, but
Yeah, but the kind that usually delivers very decent finishing, sensible layouts, and fewer surprises.
Yeah, and we always say this, developer cannot guarantee profit, but definitely they can reduce unnecessary stress.
So, okay, and let's talk about what most people are actually here for, which is location.
Okay, so for location-wise, it is in River Valley District 9. So the first question everybody asks, is it near MRT?
So this we don't have to sugarcoat lah, alright? Direct access to Great World MRT.
In this case, which is in CCR terms, it is a very big deal.
Exactly. So many CCR projects talk about short drive, talk about one bus stop away, but this is genuinely MRT connected.
And on top of that, Great World City is just right there. So for grocery shoppings, daily necessities, it is very livable.
So who does this location really appeal to?
It's actually quite a lot of people, I must say, but as long as budget isn't the issue, so we will have professionals, couples, small families, and people who actually value convenience over size.
And it's not really kids run downstairs and play void, that kind of vibe.
More city living. So for facilities wise, we are still waiting for the full details. But given the unit count,
we can reasonably expect a complete yet efficient set of facilities. So meaning enough to enjoy, but not overly spaced out.
Yep, and honestly, for the buyers in this location, facilities are important. However, I feel that this is not the main reason they buy.
Correct. So in CCR, people buy for location, right? They buy for accessibility, they buy for lifestyle first.
Yep, and let's move on to the land and surrounding context. So something interesting about River Modern is the competition nearby. If you have been keeping up with the 2025 new launches, you have heard of all these big names.
Right. So as I'm looking at it, right, so River Green launched first in the area and absolutely went crash, right? Selling 88% on day one. So they're currently about 92% sold at an average of $3,100 per square foot. And we had the Zion Road plots starting with Promenade Peak by All Green.
Yeah, this one is very interesting, because All Green, which is part of the Quad Group, actually owns Great World City. But surprisingly, they only hit 54% on the launch day.
Right.
However, now they're at about 67% sold, averaging about 3,000 per PSF.
Right, exactly. Then just a few months ago in October, CDL launched Zion Grand, also averaging $3,000 per square foot, and they moved 84% on launch day. Here's the kicker. River Modern is on the River Valley Green Parcel B plot. So Guaco Land bought it at 1,420 per square foot per plot ratio, which is about $100 higher than the River Green land plot and the highest of the 4 plots so far.
And if we follow the trend for River Valley GLS, it is highly likely that Parcel C, which is also going to be awarded this year, will come in even higher than the Guaco Land Peak.
Right, so and do you realize something interesting here? So Promenade Peak bought the land at $1,300 plus per square foot, while Zion Grand's plot was about $100 cheaper at approximately about $1,200 per square foot. Yet, they both averaged $3,000 per square foot. So in fact, Zion Grand hit a higher max PSF of $3,900 per square foot.
Oh yeah, that's true. So even if Guaco Land might have paid about $100 PSF premium for River Modern over River Green, they could potentially sell River Green average prices. Or taking a tighter margin, it could even be lower. Actually, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this launch as compared to the rest so far?
Well, we'll touch on the supply, right, in the maps analysis, but honestly, out of all the developments launched, we actually prefer River Modern over the rest.
Tell me more.
Firstly, Zion Road looks similar to River Valley Green, but the zoning is the secret difference. So Zion Road is in RCR, while River Valley Green is in CCR. So River Modern and River Green are true CCR projects, while Zion and Promenade Peak are technically City Fringe RCR.
River Modern and River Green are directly connected to Great Wall, which the two are not. So it seems like developer and buyers would agree that CCR status and MRT direct connectivity deserve a premium. And that's why River Green sold almost at 90% and developers bid higher for both River Valley lands.
Exactly. So people might miss those small details, but the market doesn't. Right now, why I prefer River Modern over River Green is the site itself. So River Green's plot is weirdly shaped, so it makes it hard to get that luxury vibe and that ground floor facilities right.
Okay, that's true. Another thing is that River Valley does not have many units facing the Singapore River, which is the prime view that everybody wants. However, for River Modern, on the other hand, it has about 70% that's facing the river.
Right. So when you look at resale down the road, if River Modern is priced similarly to River Green, the demand is going to shift there. You get what I mean? So you get that CCR status, you get that river view, you get that luxury living, and you get that integrated access to Great World. And imagine Parcel C, which is going to come up later, likely going to be priced higher with less attractive views. So that's why our team actually ranks it top of the list.
Let's talk about the actual entry price. We don't have the final layouts or the exact size you need yet.
Right. So based on what we are hearing, okay, so we can safely assume that it will be an average of $3,000 per square foot, right? And when we start comparing the same unit types against like River Green, against like Zion Grand, something really interesting is actually popping up.
Do you mean the quantum play?
Exactly. For almost every category, the River Modern Quantum, right, the total price you're going to be actually paying is likely to be priced below or on par with both developments.
Okay, so what you mean is for a 2-bed, 1-bath scenario, River Modern total price is either lower or at least average and not the most expensive in the area.
Correct. So when you factor in the better views, the better connectivity, and the superior land plot shape, right? These are the three things that we look at. The entry price actually appears a lot safer for River Modern.
Okay, but just a quick reminder for our listeners, the 3,000 PSF is just our own estimate and it's not the final developer's price. So the final pricing would definitely be based on the stack premium as well as the floor premium as well. So if you like us to update you the second that the actual price drop, just reach out to us.
Right. So if you like this level of detail that we are looking at, right? So we can help you analyze, right? We can help you, even analyze to the specific bedroom types, the ones that you're eyeing on to see if it's a sensible entry for your specific goals. So the part where most viewers are excited to know is, whether should they go or be caution or no go, right? So let's run River Modern through our maps framework.
Okay, let's start. Even though this part can get a little bit geeky and technical, I feel that this is very important because it provides a standardized, back-tested way of analyzing a whole project so our clients can, an audience can make decisions based on data and facts and it's not just gut feeling.
So let's start with macro, right? So macro looks at the demand and supply in the surrounding area, right? And we compare it with a macro view of the region. For example, in River Modern case, it will be compared with the CCR region. And for 1 kilometer from Great Wall MRT, and the number shows that the overall demand is above the CCR average.
Yes, and even if we were to break it down into 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom types, the index shows that purchasing a 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom in this area can still give us better demand in this area as compared to the rest of the CCR.
So with that, our recommendation for macro is a go. However, we need to highlight one thing, right? We need to highlight that we are seeing a significant injection of supply with the Zion Road and the River Valley Green plots coming live at the same time. Right. So while existing demand is high, the sudden surge in the supply means that buyers have a lot more choices out there. So as such, right, area and price gap is a key to ensure whether are we advantageous, right, against the rest when it comes to exiting 5 years later.
So moving on to area, here we typically identify where the future exit demand could come from. So for most projects, we look at HDB upgraders within 2 km.
Now, River Valley is unique. So why do I say that? Area-wise, River Valley does not rely on HDB upgrader. So even though there are no HDB block that's going to MOP within 2 kilometers in the next 5 years, if you look at River, which is just opposite, right, only less than 15% of the people staying there are HDB upgraders.
That's true. In CCR exit demand, it mainly comes from other CCR buyers, upgrading RCR buyers, HDB upgraders from nearby RCR areas as well. So these are very lifestyle-driven purchases and even wealthier foreigners who have just gotten their PR status or Singapore status.
Right. So another thing we look out for in our area analysis is to identify future catalysts. So these future catalysts, right, can help our price increase. So when we talked about it earlier, where River Valley Parcel C will be awarded in April. So looking at the demand for Parcel B, right, where they had 5 bidders, and also the increasing cost of land in RCR and OCR region, we are likely going to see a high demand for this Parcel C plot, which will be our future price catalyst.
So for area-wise, based on that, our recommendation for area would be go.
So alright, let's dive right into the price gap, the one that actually moves the needle on profit. So and for the new folks here, can you remind them how we normalize our price?
Okay, so this is how we do it. So usually we'll take comparable neighbors and adjust them comparing, apple to apple. Okay, so we look at least differences, MRT proximity, as well as the 7% harmonization rule.
So for this area, let's be conservative and not even adjust Zion Grand's prices to consider the RCR to CCR status, nor the difference in the distance from Great World MRT. Right, as mentioned earlier, almost every category, based on $3,000 per square foot estimate, the River Modern quantum price you're paying is likely to be priced below or on par with both developments.
Yes, that's true. And when you factor in with better views, better connectivity, and superior land plot shape, the entry point actually appears to be a lot safer for River Modern.
If we then look at River, which is in CCR, just opposite River Modern with similar views, right? For 2-bedroom River has transacted at $2.25 million to $2.5 million quantum, while River Modern is expected to be $1.3 to $2 million, which is way below for a newer and more well-connected development.
So even for 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom, we are actually seeing a huge price quantum advantage. So even without considering that Riviera is 7 years older, why do you think it is so?
Okay, so just to share to our audience here today, what we are seeing is known as the harmonization effect, in which due to harmonization which started in 2023 to 2024, this period, new launches layout are more efficient, right? And as a result of that, the quantum in some situations are more affordable than the surrounding resale. So this has resulted in many resale units being slow to sell and in some cases needing to lower the price in order just to let go.
Oh wow! So in this case, for our audience who is holding on to pre-harmonization, resale units, are you recommending them to sell?
Not necessarily, right? There are some other factors to look at as well. Hence, it is recommended, right, to reach out to our investment team for us to analyze and for us to determine if harmonization will affect your home prices or cause stagnation.
Okay, so back to maps. Due to the launch price and actual layouts that's not being available yet, we are still unable to determine whether it's a go, caution, or no, However, if you're curious about a specific layout type and wants to be more updated with the updated prices, when it's out, do reach out to us and we'll be happy to help. Okay, last one. For side factor, can give us the good news and the caution news.
Okay, so good news first, 455 units should come with well-equipped facilities, right? It's practically an extension of Great World City, right? And MRT with River Valley Primary within 1 kilometer and walking distance from Zion Food Centre. Additionally, 70% of the units are facing Singapore River. So we always say you can renovate anything in the house, like the kitchen, like the wardrobe, but you cannot renovate a river view.
Okay, but here's the caution. If you're sitting just right next to the future Parcel C, if Parcel C is being awarded at much lower price in April, this could potentially pressure your future sale price.
Right.
With that being said, it's unlikely going to be the case, but we never know.
So also the supply-demand ratio, if you look at River supply-demand ratio, it is 0.25, which is below CCR and the area average. But we also believe this number, it is heavily impacted by the price gap you see in the previous slide, along with the new launches coming one after another at cheaper than Riviera prices, and that caused supply stagnation and demand weakening for Riviera.
So for site, we recommend caution to go because, for now we don't have the actual facilities and layouts are not out yet. But we are more leaning towards the go side because there's no obvious or immediate red flags at this point.
So right, bring it all together. Okay, River Modern has indication of strong existing demand, right, based on the high sales volume in the area and the potential short-term catalyst that could bring the price growth.
But here's the most important part. Entry price is everything. Since price gap analysis cannot be done at this stage due to the lack of information, we definitely need to deep dive more. However, based on what we are seeing, it seems like price gap looks attractive and it is a goal.
So as such, it appears that River Modern will be a potential investment opportunity based on MAP's framework. But we need to do a deeper analysis once more information is out. So if you're interested to see the full analysis when we get more information, subscribe to us to be notified firsthand.
Yes, and while you're at it, give us a like as well.
That's it for today. So if you want us to walk through River Modern based on your budget, based on your holding period, or maybe even based on your unit type, right, just reach out to us.
Yep, so no pressure and no obligation. What we want is just a conversation.
So, and if today's chat actually helped you to think a little bit clearer,
do like, share, and send it to someone that's searching for a home.
So thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you in the
next episode.